Another big milestone today. We've just passed the sheathing inspection, which allows us to progress the house in a big way. Let's talk about this. Today's sheathing inspection is a precursor to allow us to start wrapping the exterior of the house with our membranes. One of the things that we must present as part of this inspection is a window mock-up. Now, this window mock-up, it consists of flashings, bug screen, placeholders for the outsulation, and the rain screen. And what this does is it gives an indication of what we intend to do throughout the rest of the exterior walls, around the windows, and around all penetrations and openings. Another item we have to present is how we plan to address all the penetrations that come through the wall. Let's have a look at one of them. This is a wire coming out of the wall for a future electrical receptacle, which will be installed in the deck area. The inspector just wants to see that all the wires coming out are addressed with the proper WRB. On top of that, we've addressed it with some high performance tape to ensure that there's no chance for water or air to leak through this assembly. Aside from this penetration, there is going to be fans, there's going to be conduits that come out of the wall, all sorts of penetrations. But let me show you a very unique way of doing these penetrations on our houses. I want to draw your attention to that neighboring house where they have two penetrations coming off the side wall. Now, those could be intakes or they could be exhaust for mechanical systems from inside, who knows? But nevertheless, it's a very typical type of installation where the penetration comes off the exterior wall. The exterior wall being a plywood base. Now, if you take a look along the side of this house, on both sides, you'll notice that there's no penetrations coming out, whether it's for a hood fan, exhaust duct, intake for HRV, you won't see any of this stuff along the wall. Now, why do we have a clean wall here? I like to keep the walls clear of any kind of distractions. What I want to do is I show an entirely clean, cladded wall, unobstructed. Secondly, any penetrations coming off the wall have to be addressed. Every time you have a penetration, it can be subject to a water leak, air leak. Nevertheless, it is still something that has to be addressed and done properly. The less you have, the better chance of you keeping the house air and watertight. So where would we have all these penetrations done? You see this line here that we've marked, and it shows a couple instructions on the diameters of holes. This is where my penetrations come out. Not through a 1/2 inch wall assembly, but through an 8-inch concrete assembly. I do that for many reasons. So I want to direct your attention to the foundation level of this house. This house, if you can remember from way back in the beginning, is built with a ledger system in place. That means the floor assembly is actually right here, okay? So inside here is all floor cavity space. This is where I like to have all my penetrations take place. Well, that's very unorthodox. Normally, you'll see the house just littered with penetrations coming out the side. Why are we putting all at the foundation level? There's many benefits to this. I can core through the wall, the hole being 8 inches deep, slip the penetration through, and I still have a little bit of a space around that area, around the penetration, to provide my insulation, spray foam, or waterproofing, or any kind of sealant, which would make this penetration watertight and airtight. Secondly, I can also have all the penetrations lined up at this level, so it's nice and neat, rather than having scattered all throughout the wall. I mean, when I look at the side of a house, I want to see the nice cladding. I want to see the windows. I don't want to see things popping out randomly. For example, a hood fan duct, a kitchen exhaust, or a bathroom exhaust. Those are all randomly placed. They're never, ever on the line. So by having it here, it's all uniform. It's also accessible. If you ever need to service it, you don't have to climb a ladder. For this house, we have a total of 20 penetrations which we will be coring through the concrete wall. Later on, you're going to see penetrations lining through this same plane. However, they'll be covered with decorative shrouds to make it even better looking and to protect them from damage. There is, however, one penetration that I cannot put through here, and that's located on above the main floor, which is the kitchen hood fan. Being a 8 to 10 inch hole typically, it's got to come out through the plywood. Now, how do we address that penetration in a way where air and water can be prevented from entering that opening? I like to address the kitchen hood fan penetration in a very similar manner as we did the fireplace. As you can recall, The fireplace area was boxed out like this, allowing an isolated area for the penetration to slip through without affecting the areas around it. Once this penetration has been slipped through, we can easily fill the voids that are left over with insulation and poly it properly so that no air or water problems will occur. Another couple of things that the inspector looks for at this stage is that the windows that are installed are of the right U factors, and that is identified through the stickers placed on each window, as well as any glass that's supposed to be tempered is installed in the right place. For example, above bathtubs, above showers, any areas where the tempered glass is mandatory for life and safety. And lastly, the building height as built is measured to ensure that we've built this house according to the drawings and we didn't go over what was allowed. So passing this inspection allows us to wrap the exterior of the house with our WRB, allows us to build the layers of insulation, rain screen, and all that good stuff before the cladding goes on. The outside of the house will take shape very, very differently moving forward from now. And what's a modern house without a touch of metal, right? We'll have a look at this nice wraparound roof installed by Jeff from Pacific Restorations. Beautiful standing seam roof. They put a lot of work into it. They wrapped the fascia as well. Just excellent work.